Man, the UFC will never lose. This is just goes to, prove that money will always take power over everything, man. Just when you think we might actually start seeing the future for fighters, actually going pro fighter, just when we think, wow, maybe these guys can start getting life insurance. Maybe these guys can start having options out there and maybe not get locked into some crazy ass contracts where, they can only fight for one organization. Maybe they can go out there and explore boxing. Maybe they can go out there and explore wrestling, whatever they want to do as athletes should. Maybe they might actually start getting a revenue share that's actually pretty legitimate, like we see with the NBA, NFL, MLB all the time, where we're questioning, like, how does an eighth man on the NBA team get a crazy $75 million contract through 3 years when a dude doesn't even play? Or how did that, how that quarterback make, a $300 million contract when the dude can't even make the playoffs, where these guys have 50-50 revenue splits, where these guys are getting paid correctly, when these guys are actually getting a share of what they bring in, because we all know that the athletes are who bring us there. Yeah, cool. The NFL, the NBA, these are great big organizations that took many of years to get built up and everything, but yeah, sure, you guys put on a lot. If it wasn't for you guys, are you going to have that big of a name as a fighter or an NBA player or whatever it is? Are you going to have that big of a name? Probably not, but at the same time, you are the reason that this thing keeps going. So it should be a fair split. And when you guys really look into it, when we know, man, unless you're Conor McGregor, Israel Adesanya, unless you're some of these guys out here that are getting top dollar, some of these guys aren't even making 6% of the revenue share. If you look at most of the people on, fight, cards and everything, I think like 16 of the fighters on there are probably only getting maybe 2% of what that card actually gets out. And then you're going to have the top guys make a little bit that brings it up to an average of like 12% revenue share. And just when you think all of this is going to happen, just when you think 1,200 fighters get together and are actually going to go at the UFC and make them actually do all of these things, boom, money just pays for everything. They settle for a $335 million settlement, which is, sounds cool and everything. Those 1,200 fighters, cool. You guys are going to get a big chunk for the way that you got mistreated, the way you got, manipulated by the UFC for all these years. But what's going to happen now for the future of the rest of the fighters, man? Now they're going to be stuck in there forever. This was your guys' chance to make it right, to make the future of fighting, actually safe and perfect. And these guys aren't giving their lives all the time and risking everything for a bunch of just brain damage and to be, absolute broke by taxes and everything by the time that you retire. And you spent your entire life, now that you're 35, 40 years old, if you're lucky to make it that far in a good career and make some decent money, now you're left to, build up the, building blocks again to figure out where you're at in life and to try to find something. And it's like, man, is it too late? CTE, all these things, you don't even have life insurance. And it's a damn shame, man. And this is why we'll never probably see this in MMA like we do with the NBA and basketball and football and all these things, the NFL, baseball with MLB, hockey with the NHL, all these things. Yes, these guys are competitive. Yes, everybody's shooting for one big trophy at the end of the year. But if you're only out there to change your life and make a bunch of money, in those sports, you can do it by being friendly with the other teams. You don't need that killer instinct like you do in MMA to become a champion. You can go out there and let your team kind of go for it. If you play hard enough and you're decent enough, talented enough, you can make a long career out of just, riding pine and everything and making $100 million in the NBA. And you're on the low side because everybody else is making, $500 million up to, who knows, LeBron made $1 billion. Kobe probably pretty close to that. All these big names. And it's just a damn shame. The NFL is still the same way. All these things, man. The UFC will never see it because these guys are always fighting each other. It's a huge game of competitiveness. You want what I want. At 155, you have what I want. You have the seed. You have the third seed. I have the fourth seed. I'm trying to kill you for it. Oh, everybody else. You don't see these guys on podcasts together after fights. Unless I actually fight you in a fight and we have a gained respect at the end, which makes this sport beautiful. Like when Justin Gaethje and Dustin Poirier, or whoever you want to match up, whoever. Amanda Hebos says we got Rose Namajunas. No matter how these fights usually go, if they have bad blood, you're always going to have a respect for that one person that you shared the octagon with. But for the remainder 25 people in your division that you might have to fight, it's fuck these people. You're taking what I want. In the NBA, if you're going up against LeBron and the Heat when they were on a team, or you're going up against Golden State or whatever, you pretty much knew you lost. You're just like, hey, let's go out there and have some fun. Let's put some buckets up. There's still so much room out there for 15 guys to have shoe deals. Not all 15 of these guys even get close to winning a championship, but I got a shoe deal with Jordan. I'm feeling good. Or same thing with the NFL, man. Oh, man, I'm Odell Beckham. I had that nasty catch that one year, man. I got a whole ass shoe deal with Nike or whoever you may be. You name it. You got sponsor deals all the time with commercials. You see it all the time, your jersey sales. You see it everywhere. You don't have to be a winner in these sports. And you can get along with people. Do a podcast after the game because it's all shit and giggles because we all have $100 million in the bank. The UFC, the MMA, they will never do this. It is survival of the fittest for the top 5 people to ever make good money, like Conor McGregor, Brock Lesnar. These people, Ronda Rousey, that got paid. Like, you don't see that very often. And you're even lucky if you're even getting to the point of the Izzy Adesanyas out there, the John Joneses, the guys that actually make pretty good money, the Donald Cerrone's at the end of the day. Like, that's a top 2% in the world for that sport. So it's just a damn shame we will never see these guys and women come together and just say, man, this is bigger than us. We need to do this now for the future of fighting. We need to do this now so everybody can do it. Maybe we're going to, butt heads with the UFC. Maybe we'll get kicked out. Maybe whatever. That's why what Francis Ngannou, he just got knocked out. But what he's doing, man, stepping up for himself, stepping up for the sport, going, hey, you guys, cool. You guys were offering me a bunch of money. It's way bigger than that. I just wanted to try boxing. Look how decent I did. If he was still with the UFC and they would have just let him do that, after that Tyson Fury fight, he would have been, oh my gosh, it would have been the biggest thing ever for the UFC. But they don't want these guys to get big like Conor because they're afraid we'll give them all this money and they'll stop fighting. And it's a damn shame, man. What about all these guys that are just getting signed to a 10-day just to make sure, oh, we had somebody back out. Can you please jump on from the local scene onto here just to kind of get embarrassed by Bo Nickel? And, we're just going to drop you back off. You're gonna get embarrassed and maybe never get picked up again. But that guy should be getting paid. What about these people that are only making $1,200 a show, and if you win, you get another $1,200? Like, this is a damn shame. You should never be making less than what you could as a freaking main event in a local scene than you are as an early prelim in the UFC. Like, it is a damn shame, and they had it by the balls. And of course, money talks. It's always gonna buy. It's always gonna get them out of trouble. And if you're a UFC fan, which at the end of the day, I am a huge UFC fan, I'm always gonna love it. It's made me, absolutely fall in love with the sport of MMA. It's brought me to Muay Thai. It's brought me to everything. I can't deny. But cool. They're going to keep winning. They're going to keep making all their money. But what are they even spending? You guys just saw the UFC 300 poster. They're not even spending good money on media teams. We don't even see cool promos like we see with boxing just did with Francis Ngannou and Anthony Joshua. That was sick. The Tyson Fury one, sick. Like, you don't even see that for these guys. You don't even see a poster with the actual fighters on it for the UFC. Like, what are they? They have the Apex Arena. Like, they're not even really traveling anymore. What are they spending their money on? They're just stacking, and everybody's just eating. And, oh, my God, it is a damn shame. It is a damn shame right now. If you're actually a pro fighter, this was their moment. And now it's back to, okay, now the UFC's monopolizer. We finally got all out of that. If you guys were seeing the text messages that were getting released from Dana White talking to the Fertittas, dogging all these fighters, making them feel like they're not even human. Like, it was absolutely damn terrifying and a shame. And now we're never going to have that chance. Oh, if you ever wanted to see the PFL, Bellator, One Championship, whatever it is, if you ever wanted to see them do anything and have a chance of getting some really big fighters and having a chance to pay these guys and give them what they deserve, yep, out the window. It's out the window now because the UFC is still going to be a monopolizer. So, I mean, at the end of the day, I can't be bitching that much, I guess, but I am going to because these are my favorite fighters. This is my favorite sport. These are what these people deserve. They put their life on the line way more than I see at the NBA level, even though basketball is my favorite sport, or used to be. It was my first love. Or, football, I've always loved it. NHL, hockey, anything. I love all these sports. I've always played sports in my life, but these guys don't do nearly as much as these MMA fighters do. They don't give up nearly as much as these guys do, and it's just a damn shame. It is a damn shame. So if you guys were hoping for that, good luck. I don't know if we'll ever see it again in the near future, but it's just a fucking shame, man. I just wish they could come together, get a freaking fighters union like the NBA does. Chris Paul and LeBron and all these guys got together and swallowed their egos and go, hey, here we are. We're going to make sure we get this money. Look at our jersey. Look at everything that we do for video games. All these things. We make this brand. This is who we are. The future, the past, all these, the players are what makes this company. And that's exactly what it is with fighting. And it's just a damn shame. So let me get off this damn thing. I'm rambling too much, but it's your boy, Steven Moustaris. As always, the MMA Short Show. Now let's go, baby.